Today I'm going to make some Greek-inspired burgers. I think that they're totally customizable. I tried to mimic what I would find in flavoring wise in traditional Greek cuisine, but also like what you would find in a gyro. So I've used ground beef. You could use ground lamb or chicken or turkey, whatever you'd like. It's totally customizable. I've mixed in spinach, but you can actually mix in feta cheese if you like, or a lot of other ingredients. But for me, I've just got some spinach and other Greek spices and garlic and things like that. So anyhow, continue to watch if you'd like to see how I've done mine, and subscribe, share the video, and I will be back in just a minute. Thank you. Okay, so to get started on my Greek inspired burgers, I first have about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I then have about a cup or so of spinach that I've sliced very thin. You can see it's about 30 grams if you weigh it. And then I have about a tablespoon of parsley, about a tablespoon of oregano, and then roughly 15 grams of, this is just dried minced onions. And I like using this because it really absorbs all the flavor of the beef and garlic once you mix it all together. And if you let it set and reconstitute, it adds a lot of flavor. So yeah, I said that's 15 grams. That's roughly 5 teaspoons ish. And then I have about 30 grams of garlic, maybe about 3 teaspoons roundabout. You could use fresh if you want, and the equivalent. And I just use the jarred stuff, and then you have your salt and pepper. And I like to add the salt and pepper once I've already patted out the patties. So I'm going to add everything to the bowl with the beef and be right back. Okay, so here's everything in the pan. I'm gonna mix it by hand, but you could use one of those fancy presses or whatever that you want to, or a spoon or whatever. But I have actually put on a rubber glove just because I don't like the feeling of it, and just to save myself from taking off my jewelry and washing all that. So I'm just going to squeeze these ingredients together and try to get them as well incorporated as I can, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I've got all the ingredients well incorporated. You can see a little bit of everything in there. It's nice because you can really add anything and make this your own. You could add a little bit of feta cheese in here if you'd like. I don't care for feta. My husband is Greek and he loves feta, but it's not something that I'm going to want on it. So I will actually grill the burgers and then top them with feta at that point for those of us who want it, not me. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide these into, this is like I said, about 1.5 pounds, so I think I'll make 6 4-ounce burgers to feed our family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my kitchen scale, weigh each one of them out, and then I will just put them in the freezer overnight so that I can grill them tomorrow. Okay, so here is my kitchen scale. I've got it set to weigh in ounces. I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper on my scale, and it doesn't really weigh anything into it. So like I said, I'm going to make 4-ounce patties. So I'm going to make 6 of them. So I'm going to kind of try to estimate it. So put it on my scale. I've got a little bit more than 4 ounces there, so I'll take a little pinch off of it. A little bit more. You can see that. About 4 1/4. So just to get a good idea of my macros, it's really a lot easier to weigh it out on your kitchen scale. That way when you're logging it, there you go, I'm dead on. That is 4 ounces. So yeah, when you're logging it, to have an exact measurement. So I'm going to do that and get all of them patted out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's what it looks like all patted out. So I'll take a piece of parchment paper, set it right on top, and then I'll take another piece of parchment, and then I will put it back on my scale, and I will repeat the same process until all of my burgers are patted out. Okay, so here's my stack of burgers. You can see I had a little bit more than 1.5 pounds, so I actually ended up having enough for like a little 3-ounce burger. So I'll cook that one up too, might as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap them in some plastic, and I'm going to put them in the freezer overnight just to make them firm enough to be able to grill them easily without them falling apart. There's a lot of moisture in here with that spinach and the garlic and all that, so it's kind of best to do that. So tomorrow I will actually grill these for lunch, and right before I put them on the grill, I'll give them a good little sprinkling of salt and black pepper, and they will be delicious. One more thing I forgot to mention is that to go along with these Greek burgers, in addition to topping them with, you know, lettuce and tomato and a slice of onion, I'm actually going to top them with this delicious tzatziki sauce that I made. If you'd be interested in the recipe for that, I would be happy to make a short video. It's really easy. Okay, so today I am going to grill these burgers. So this is how they all turned out. They're frozen, see? And I've got my grill going. Heat is pretty moderate, and I'm going to put them all on there, get them a good sear, and then move them indirect and let them finish slowly. Okay, so here are all of my burgers on the grill. I added some salt and pepper on them, just like I said I would, and I'm gonna let them cook through, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. Okay, so here's the burgers after I flipped them the first time. I've let them char up, some of them a little bit more than I really would care for, but I'm going to get this one off the heat now. Move it over to the side. This one. And kind of move them a little, whoops, sorry about that, a little indirect. So, as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and let them finish off like, oh, I keep doing that, sorry. Anyway, so there you can see I've moved them indirect now, and I'm gonna let them finish off like that. They're pretty much done at this point. So yeah, I'm just gonna put the lid on it, let the heat die down just a bit, and I'll be back. Okay, so here is my finished spread. I've got my burgers, obviously. I've got some spinach that I have kind of diced up, chiffonade style, and then gave it a good slice the opposite direction. And then some onions, tomatoes, and then the tzatziki I mentioned earlier. So to plate it, what I would do is, I'm going bunless, like I said, but if you were going to eat it on a bun, that would be perfectly fine. And if you wanted to eat it on a pita, that would be awesome as well. So I'm just gonna lay down a few larger leaves of my spinach, and then I'm gonna take a burger and just kind of place it right on top. And then I'm going to, you could add some cheese. This is for my husband, so I'm gonna put a little bit of feta on it at the very end. So I'm gonna layer a little bit of my yummy tzatziki sauce right on top of the burger. You can see all of those good spices and that cucumber. It's gonna be really good. And then I'm gonna do some of my spinach on top, and some of my onion. This is just white onion. You could use a little bit of whatever kind of onion you'd like. Oops, oh good. And then some tomatoes. Now we're on a low-carb diet, so I'm not gonna get crazy with the onions and tomatoes and all that, but just to give you an idea, this is pretty traditional for like a Greek gyro, which is kind of what I'm trying to mimic. And then again, another little dollop of that tzatziki. And then since it is from my husband, I'm going to give him a little bit of this feta. So there you go. Now you could serve this with a side of orzo if you are a carb eater. I'm going to serve it with just a couple of slices of watermelon, which does have some carbs in it, but I'm going to let that slide tonight because it looks so delicious. And that is the finished plate. So let me know what you think. You guys can customize these any way you'd like, and feel free to leave any suggestions in the comment section. I'm going to put the recipe, totally customizable recipe, in the description box, and I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and share the video, and come back and see my next one. Thank you.